And we are back. Another outstanding episode of Square Table Degenerates. Today, we welcome to the show YouTuber Maggie Weber, the Refashioned Hippie. How are you today, man?
Good. I'm always like really nervous for some reason because like on my channel, it's like a party I can leave at any time. I just hit the X button and it's fine. But like we're at your house now.
I always get nervous up until like, I mean, it depends really the level of nervosity. I guess it depends how the week went. But like usually right about half hour up until game time. Then once I hit live, it all goes away and it's just fun, you know. Yeah. It's just because I don't know. It's when you do something 100 times, 200 times, 300 times, after a while it's second nature. You know what I mean? You just turn it on and roll with it. And we're starting a little early, guys. It's just because you know, she's a military family. She was you know, she's married to a military guy, so you know how these people are. They start on time. I don't know, maybe because I still try to start. I mean, I start the show on time, but I'm not like the whole 10 minutes early rule thing. I never really followed that in the back end of my life, primarily because like most of my friends are stoners and we'll be like, all right, meet up at 9 o'clock. And 9 o'clock really means like anytime between 9:30 and 10 o'clock, depending on what you want to do. So
no, that's exactly how I am. Like I take a gummy before like every one of my shows because that's who I am and what I need. And my dogs are freaking out because no one's here. Can you guys hear the barking? I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. We like dogs around here. I'm not worried.
Yeah. And every time I'm high and I'm like, do we have any pie in the house? My husband's just like, God damn, because he still works for the government, so he can't like mess with nothing.
Okay. Oh, so he's working for the part of the government you still get drug tested on, right?
Yeah.
A guy who looks just like me works for the government too, but he's not in a drug testing position, so I'm not worried about it. We actually do, like when people super chat, I always do a gummy. Today's gummies are the Cotton Cloud Rocket Bites from the whatever this corporation is in Michigan. That's where I get all my weed from is Michigan, Maggie, because like the weed in Ohio, both Ohio and Michigan are weed legal states, but the Ohio weed is like 5 times more than the Michigan weed. So I just go up there. Been up there for like 5 years now. Right when I started YouTube almost. Speaking of Michigan, welcome to the show, Connie. How you doing? All right, now let's start from the beginning. Back when you was little, were your parents hippies, or what hippie qualities did they have for you to be later inspired to adopt that as your main moniker?
So I will say that both of my parents were very conscientious people, but they're very different. My mother is a doctor who was raised and educated mostly in France. She got a PhD and she was the only female in her PhD program and then her residency in a hospital. My dad, when he was 15, his summer job was muling weed off a mountain. And they met when she was like waitressing to earn money and he was a fry cook. So he eventually became a classically trained French chef. He, but very different career trajectories and very different people. Like my mom will talk to me about the kind of tax code that can save me money. And my dad taught me when I was 12 how to chop up vitamin B pills in case I need to bunk a Coke dealer one day. So like different, but both valuable. And so I grew up with these very weird people whom I love. And just they created a very conscientious family.
Okay, we gotta learn. Street smarts and education is part of life, man. That's what I had a doctor on a couple weeks ago, and that real nice guy, and he had street smarts. You know, he was a smart guy, but I you know, we touched on it. It's like a lot of these guys out there, Max, they get education, and they never, you know, learn how to talk to people. You know, how many times you get to go to a doctor and they just freak out on you? You know, everybody's got one of them stories. It's ridiculous.
I'm logging into this so I can see everything from there.
Okay, for sure. I don't trust myself. You should be able to see the chat on the side, I think.
I can. I'm just paranoid and weird.
Oh, I got you. Okay. Yeah, most of our people are good, man. We get some loyal viewers out there. We do. We get some fun people. I know so many YouTubers at this point. It's great. All right. So at what age did you start getting into fashion? And did you play any sports or have any other hobbies when you was like little?
So I've always played soccer. I have a weird amount of upper body strength I can't really account for. So I have this, like when I throw the ball in over my head, it goes real far. So that was always my skill. I went to college and got a theater degree because I wanted to be completely unemployable. And after college, I realized I didn't want the nomadic lifestyle that comes with working in theater because it sucks. Every 6 months, you're looking for a new job, a new place to live. Eventually, you have to try to live in LA, which was completely fucking unappealing to me. So I took the first job offered to me, which was working in a thrift store. And then I worked in various thrift stores and retail for about 10 years and just fell in love with it. I was really good at it. And that's where I got my fashion-y background, but it's also where I learned about a lot of causes that are important to me. Because if you work in a thrift store, most thrift stores benefit a good organization.
Right.
So homelessness is always something that was really important to me. And I got to see the difference it could make just giving somebody like a change of clothing. And I worked for a lot of businesses that were family owned or just really small where we could like give shit away and corporate wouldn't come down on you and yell at you, you know. So the difference between working for like a family owned business versus some like corporate bullshit is insane. It's hugely different. And that's where I got my like fashion education. So it's not like huge, but it was weird because it absolutely led to the trajectory I'm on now where like I learned about fashion, but I also learned to really fucking hate rich people. So like that's what my channel kind of became. I'm like, I'm not a fashion expert at all.
Well, I mean, if you really break down, this is my conspiracy theory about fashion, right? I think that arts and high fashion are just money laundering, just straight up money laundering. I mean, who really buys these $600 Versace shirts and takes life seriously? I mean, nobody. Like, what? I mean, I don't know how many people I know. There's probably 4 or 5 figures, but I don't think I've ever known one person, Max, who's owned a Versace shirt or $500 pair of Rockin' Republic Junior. It just, the typical, uppity fashion thing. I think it's just a money laundering thing myself. What's your take on that? I mean, like the we're talking the really expensive designers, not the stuff that you're into and then I probably wearing all that. Just that high society stuff. Is there any money laundering aspect in that, or what do you think all this money even does?
There fucking has to be. There has to be. Like what got me started was I was filling out a grant proposal for my organization, Sanctuary Village. We're building a tiny house community for the homeless in Philadelphia. And I was asking Wawa for $500. And the grant proposal is like 12 pages. You have to give them your fucking soul. And I took a break from that. I took a break from the $500 proposal, went on Poshmark and saw a skirt for sale for $43,000. And that hurt my heart so much that I made a reel about it. And that blew up. And that's what led me here. But yeah, that shit from Tiffany, where it's like I think I just did a reel on a $37,000 clock that looks like a car that's made out of tin. Go fuck yourself. Like what? I can't. An end table for $175,000 from Prada. Like you're a bad person. And I should get to punch you. Not a lot, but like one time. So yeah, I think there's a lot of money laundering. And I think there's so much just look at me. And like David Yurman and places like that, I think it's a lot of like, I'm going to wear this in case I need to flee Tsarist Russia. Like I want the family fortune around my throat, just in case. And, you give a poor person $100, they're going to buy food, they're going to buy clothes, they're going to pay rent. They're going to buy things that depreciate in value. You give a rich person some money, they're going to buy art, jewelry, real estate. They're going to buy things that appreciate in value. But they're going to tell themselves that they worked harder than you, that they're smarter than you, that they've saved more than you. They're going to feel good about the money they're earning through their investments. Whereas the rest of us are trying to like fucking live,
All right. And then they donate their money to these causes that are tax deductible that do not benefit, most of society. You're talking, ballet companies, orchestras, shit like that. I mean, it's don't get me wrong. I like a good orchestra. I love the Cleveland Orchestra. My good buddy Joe Everett's a phenomenal cellist, and I think it's a cello in the orchestra. But like, the amount of money that gets donated to these museums, even too, and it's like you said, it's horrible. Like as a basic human being, Max, I really got into this when I started smoking weed once I retired from the service. Just like the way we treat, you get people out here who are like, they're more concerned about a homeless dog than they are about a bunch of homeless people on the street. Not that we don't love dogs, but like, where's your human compassion? Yeah. These people work their whole lives and then maybe they get fired and they're homeless and fuck them. You know, and then here we go sell this painting of a banana on the wall for $5 million, and you're telling me it's not money laundering? Like, come on. I mean, it's spot on, really.
6.1 million. 6.1 million for a banana on a fucking wall. Like I want to have a fucking aneurysm, honestly. But no, it's exactly what you're saying. Like I have a friend right now, Audrey, who's amazing in my Discord. She controls all that shit. Like I don't do shit. I don't understand technology at all. Anytime there's a problem, I'm like, Audrey, baby, she's homeless. Like she and her husband are trying to get an RV because right now they're living out of their car and they're getting trespassing notices because they're parked in places they shouldn't be. Like these are people, everything is stacked against them. And they're trying to live. So when I talk about a $200,000 couch, it is so offensive to me because it's like, how many college tuitions could you pay for instead of your like, look at me, I'm rich couch? You know, and these people think we're like jealous. It's like, no, I don't want to own the couch. I want to eat you. Like I want to eat your flesh in front of your couch. Like it's insane to me. Also, please someone clip this. This could go poorly for me.
Oh, it's nobody watches the show. We're all right. He's well, I mean, if you think about a $200,000 couch, I mean, how many rents could that pay for your? I mean, a $1,400 apartment. You know, what's that? 20 grand. That's 10 people could live for a year on the one couch. I mean, that's crazy. One person could live for 10 years. I mean, that's why. I mean, I say this because I'm lazy too, but like, and there's an upper limit to what I'm gonna try to make personally as a guy. I mean, if I got, I mean, I say it's now, who knows if I ever get something like that, but you know, if I ever got like some random ass contract coming in for 530 grand and all the bills are paid, you know, people are going to get some prize money. It's just the way it should be, really. I mean, some of these guys do it, some don't, but I mean, do they do it the way they should? It doesn't seem like it most of the time. I mean, you really shouldn't have people with 3-4 boats, private jets, like, helicopters. It's, you know, it makes no sense to me.
When Philly signed Cliff Lee, New York was offering him 25 million more than Philly was offering him. But he basically said, like, you can't spend all that money. Like, there comes a point where it can't be about the money because it's like, what the fuck am I going to buy with an extra 25 million? Like, so he chose Philly over New York because he said people in Philly were nice to my wife. People in New York were dicks. Like, and I think the same thing where it's like, if you have $1 billion, let's name a dog park after you. You've won capitalism. Great. Be done now. Stop now. Go home. Like, go fuck someone on your private beach and just leave. Just give the rest of the money and leave. I don't understand. Yeah.
2008 Cy Young Award winner Cliff Lee. I loved Cliff Lee when he's with the Tribe. What a great pitcher. Great pitcher. You're a baseball fan. Huh? That's good. What, so you're a Phillies guy?
I'm a Philly sports fan, mostly Eagles. Like, okay. I like my Phillies. I can't follow hockey to save my fucking life, but like, my daddy taught me a lot of things when I was a child. One is don't talk to cops. 2 is hate all the Cowboys and all their fans. Like, that's, as long as you hate the Cowboys, we're family.
Oh yeah, I care less about the Cowboys. I mean, it's I mean, Jerry Jones is, I'm a Cleveland guy, so I like all the Cleveland stuff. I like some guys, some things go through Philly. I mean, Kelsey's from this area, so Jason Kelsey's hard to not like. I mean, he's a really good dude. If I know that, I put the Kelsey jersey up for you. Yeah, I'm everything Browns. I like basketball, football, baseball. We don't have a hockey team, so I don't fuck with hockey. But yeah. But what's your earliest? You went to some games. What's your first game you went to? Your like earliest sports memory, like that with your dad or whatever?
Oh, shit. I think it was 8, and my dad. We're from around Philly. We had a science museum trip down in Baltimore, where I live now, because we were playing the Orioles. And so they thought at the end of it, it would be fun to like take the kids to a game. So it's Phillies versus Orioles. The bus got down there. We were supposed to go in the science museum, and my dad was chaperoning. And he was like, come on, babe, we're going to get some mussels at Bertha's. And the science teacher was like, oh, Mr. Farrell, we're taking him into a museum. And he was like, no, we'll meet you there later. So I didn't go on like the field trip part of the field trip. He took me around Baltimore. He showed me all of like the favorite places he saw in Homicide, Life on the Streets, and then took me to the game. And he was not invited to be a chaperone again, but I had a great day.
I got a couple stories back when I used to drink and picking the kids up drunk with with the dog in the car, blasting music. It's a great time. But man, Baltimore is a good city, dude. I was in Baltimore for 6 weeks for work. I've been to Camden Yards. Camden Yards is a beautiful facility. That's probably one of my favorite ballparks. Just, I mean, it started with the brick, you know, everything like that, but just it's a great city. I went to, there's a restaurant called Sopanos right there on the Inner Harbor. I really went. We go there every time. But I have to get bad news though. Mother's Grill in Fed Hill is closing up, man. It pissed me off. I'll have to hit that up. But if I'm trying to go to Baltimore on the 5th because we're playing the Ravens, the Browns are. So I'm going to try to head up there then. Hopefully they're still open because I'd like one of them Mother's Steaks one last time, you know. I mean, it's yeah, it's crazy out there. Oh, Mustang wants to know how you ended up in Baltimore. It's a good question.
My husband. It's funny. We actually, both of us grew up about 20 minutes from each other. Didn't meet until he was overseas in Okinawa, and I was working with his mom. And his mom kept saying like, "Oh, you got to meet this girl I work with. She's so great. You're gonna love her." And he was like, "Yeah, great, mom. Great. Introduce me to the girl who's like half my age. That's gonna work out great." And it did. It did. So he, with the job that he works, had to stay in Maryland, and I went to school down here, so I was like, "Fuck it," and it's worked out. We like Maryland.
Okay, Okinawa. Huh? So you were doing some stuff in Japan. Do you have any? Because my son wants to go to Japan. Do you have any Japan travel advice for me?
I have never been.
Okay.
I can tell you, I'm a terrible traveler. Like he wants to take me there. It's gonna take a lot of drugs. Like I can't. Yeah.
Oh, you're not a big flyer then. Okay. Okay.
I am not it's not that I'm like nervous about planes, it's that I like being in my house with my shit. So like getting me to a location is difficult. I would rather it be a kidnap scenario. Like just tie me up in a trunk, give me some drugs, wake me up when we arrive. That would be my preferred travel method.
Oh, what I always did, I would always stay up the entire night before. Like if I had to fly, I'm usually most flights are 4, 5, 6 in the morning, whatever. But I would just not sleep the night before. I just stay up the whole night and then just go to the airport and then pop a bunch of either sleeping pills or edibles, whatever, smoke some weed, and then just hope for the best on a plane. My thing is with the planes is that, man, I don't like the because I'm a big guy. I'm like 6'3", and my son's a bigger dude too. And it's when we go places, we can't sit in them back seats anymore because like I got no leg. There's like I calculated once, man. There was more leg room on the 130 coming back from Iraq than there was on the back of the plane coming back from the Virgin Islands last year. That's a little bit fucked up. I mean, they need to really make those seats bigger, but that's never going to happen unless I'm president because these guys don't care about big guys out there. They don't.
I mean, they're doing everything they can to make them smaller.
Right. Oh, classic economy or basic economy. That's what they call it. God, I fucking hate the airlines. If you're listening, you could stop the basic economy, bro. Come on, man. That's not cool. That's not cool. And dads, all us cheap fucks are going to go for the cheap seats. So we're going to end up in the back right by the bathroom, not be able to move and shit. Fuck ridiculous. All right. So you did the thrift stores. Did you get a job in high school as a thrift store? Like when did you become obsessed with it? And when did you think it was going to become a career before college? We're talking like your formative years.
Oh shit. I've had a job since I was 14, but I've had like weird jobs. So I got hired to work a summer at a machine factory, and none of it was legal. Like they paid me by check under the table. Like it was not cool. My favorite job though, I worked a summer doing roofing when I was 15. And I would get lunch every day at Wawa covered in tar. And I got so tired of people asking me what I did because they thought I was like this little girl. Like, what am I doing? So eventually I was just like, oh, I do fetish porn. And then people would just stop asking.
Love it. Love it. All right.
Yeah.
So it says you went to Washington College, which upon my research was formerly known as Kent County Free School for those of you older folks in the crowd, and requires everyone besides the seniors to live on campus. Now, being a drama major, did this help you later with your YouTube career? And how did living on campus help with socialization and just plain like getting along with people?
Okay. So great question. And my best advice, if you are shy personally, or you have a shy kid, is put them in a theater program, because it completely changed my life. I grew up crazy shy. Like I was that girl you would go to school with for 4 years and be like, "Have I seen you before?" Like, and I'd be like, "Yeah, we had 6 classes together." Like I did not speak ever, but when you're in theater, you learn how to look like an idiot and be cool with it. Vin Diesel said the same thing. He said that he owes his career to playing Dungeons and Dragons because you have to just like look kind of dumb. You have to be okay with people because when you're on a green screen filming and you're going like pew 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 pew, like you look like a fucking idiot. But when they put in all the layers of CGI and all that, like that's when you look cool. And same thing with theater. Like when you're doing improv and you're the lacrosse guy who doesn't want to look like one of the nerdy theater kids. So you go up and you're like, so cool. It's Tuesday. Like that's what slows down the momentum. But when you come in and you're like, I'm a velociraptor, like in the moment, that's fine. That's okay. So it really brought me out of my shell. And it absolutely made a difference to my YouTube career because that's what I do. Like I make these dumb little things and I got so used to people criticizing me because I don't know if you guys have heard of the internet,
Yeah, it's crazy.
but if you're on it, everyone's terrible. Like every once in a while, I'll look at the comments that YouTube has decided to filter, and I'm just like, oh, like same as I game. I have a gaming stream sometimes. Like if you play Call of Duty and you're a woman, you're gonna get rape threats faster than you've ever imagined. Like, and I've had to just have a thick skin about that. Um, so theater really helped with that. Like having that in my background made this transition a lot easier.
Okay, well, going back to, was it a regular theater degree, musical theater? What was your like specialization?
I received honors in my field and was the second runner-up for the second largest literary prize in the world for my playwriting script. I was a playwright. I did act. I think I'm decent at acting, but I preferred to be off stage.
Okay, okay. I could never like memorize lines. Like my biggest thing, like I'm good at talking. I could fucking talk for hours about stupid shit.
Mhm.
But this even extends in my stand-up career. It's like I have a trouble memorizing. And a lot of it's probably because of the extensive marijuana use, but like there's other attributes to it too. I mean, I talked to one of the soap girls, Patricia Darbo. She's on like all the big soaps and all that, big redhead. She was on Seinfeld. And she was telling me they got to do like 30 to 40 pages a day of memorizing. Like,
Yeah.
I can't comprehend that. I can't remember like, a list of medical instructions. How the fuck am I supposed to memorize 40 pages of acting? And it carries on to the joke stuff because I don't like repetition, Mags. I don't like saying the same thing over and over and over. And these guys do these comedy specials. They'll be doing these jokes on the road for a year and a half. For one, I don't have time to go on the road for a year and a half. But two, I mean the same thing over and over for a year. Like, fuck that. I have different guests on every week, man. I'm not trying to talk about the same shit, topical shit like, hey, did you guys hear about Diddy? Nobody gives a fuck about Diddy. They want to laugh and have some fun, man. Shit, I ain't got no time for that.
So theater is very weird because when you do it professionally, you have a month from the day you're cast to the day the show goes up.
Okay.
And yeah, you learn all the lines, you learn all the blocking, you do all the shit. It happened so fast. I was an intern at a theater right after college, which is where I learned what I didn't want to do. And the first week they said, so you're in a show that goes up Friday, and you're Irish. And I was like, cool, I don't have an Irish accent. And they were like, well, you fucking do now. So I watched, fuck, what's the name of it? Whatever. I watched a bunch of Irish shit and I was just like, well, I have an Irish accent now. Like that's what's happened. So same thing. I do audiobooks now. And sometimes an author will like forget to tell me like, oh yeah, you're Russian starting from page 23. And it's like, well, fuck you, Steve. But like that, and that's what you do. You figure it out. So it's great to have that background.
But Irish accent. But the Irish accent, the funniest one or the easiest way I learned Irish accent was just watching Mike Myers. And he's not even Irish, but he just does all the great accents.
Oh, fuck, Boondock Saints. That's what I watch when I need to switch into my accent.
Oh, Boondock Saints is a great movie. We watched that. We would go on these, these 2-week trips with the service and all that when I was in the guard. And we would watch Boondock Saints on a repeat. We just sit there, just die, just crack beers, just die laughing. What a great fucking movie, Boondock Saints. Oh my goodness. He's going like this. He's like, Okay, that was funny, man. All right. So what's the move after college? Did you like go to work for Forever 21 or some shit, or in some retail? You were in some like corporate store, no?
So yeah, so I'm not going to give you the name because I don't want to get sued because I did
Oh yeah,
write a
yeah.
book about this, but
Okay.
yeah, I worked for a boutique in the mall. And the thing is, it was a boutique that catered to like teenage girls. And I worked there for about a year, a little less than a year, but I fucking hated it because there were aspects of it I loved. I loved the girls I worked with, and I did love getting to take these like awkward teenage girls who didn't know how to dress and and show them how to dress their bodies to look their best because the way that clothing fits a woman, like this body is not built for an empire waist. It is not. I look like a potato bitch. Um, but the rules that go with corporate are horrifying. And I hated it. And it was so completely different from the businesses that I worked in before that after like a month, I was like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. Um, I hate it. And the things that you have to do to stay cool, the way that they take advantage of young girls. Because like if you work in anthropology, you are required to dress in anthropology clothing. So for $10 an hour, you have to start out buying $140 sweater, $80 jeans, probably about $200 worth of jewelry just for the privilege of working there and selling their shit, and like Lululemon, same thing. Those people, that is a goddamn cult. So I got out of retail because of that experience.
So you were only there a month. You gave it 1 month. All that you said it in a month.
Oh, 1 month and I had to leave, but I worked there for like 10 months
Okay.
because
Okay.
like I needed money.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, what was there anything about corporate America that you liked? I mean, there had to be one or two things like, okay, this is kind of cool, like a good break room or something. Or was it just all, I fucking hate this? What was the deal there?
I mean, I love the girls I worked with. When you work in retail in like a mall, you end up giving a lot of girls their first job. And to see somebody come in and like be really nervous and just be trying to impress you, like, and then to teach them a skill set, to teach them what they're good at, and have them leave more confident for a better job where they're getting more money is just a wonderful thing.
Okay. Yes, I had buddies. I had a couple of buddies in the guard worked for. God, it was one of the ones. It's not on it too much anymore. But I think it was or not Aeropostale, the Abercrombie. I think Abercrombie, and then they had a brand that was like Hollister, same ownership group, I believe. And he was just telling me all the stand up, basically standing, yeah, like you said, standing in the clothes all day and just wave and get people in the store. And this is like a lot of people's. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Mags, but I think this is the way a lot of people think they're going to get into modeling. No, like
Oh
they're going to
yeah.
start working at the
Oh
mall,
yeah.
and then they're going to go to New York and be a millionaire. And at the end of the day, man, I mean, you would talk about more money laundering. I mean, modeling careers. I mean, geez, like they beat these fucking people to death. I mean, you'll probably have, maybe that's why they're so skinny. They can fit more into a apartment, I guess. But like, it's crazy in these fashion capitals and with all that. I mean, did your limited experience? I mean, even at different stores, did you see like them just taking advantage of naive people who thought they're going to get somewhere in the business in the fashion and modeling business, starting out and then working their way up, kind of thing?
Just so you're aware, you're putting a soapbox under my feet that you might not want to be there. But do you know anything about Hollister's hiring practices?
I know my buddy told me they had to judge the attractiveness of people somehow. I can't remember if it was like they get a
So
list or go like that or something like that.
I'm launching. You stop me
Oh, you
at some
keep going.
point.
I love it. I love it. Let's go.
You say that. Okay, so fucking try it out. If you go into a Hollister and say, "Hi, can I have a job application, please?" They're going to say, "No, we're not hiring right now," because they don't give out job applications. Managers and assistant managers are supposed to look at people that come into the store and approach them and say, "Hey, you look like someone who would represent our store well." Because when you get hired at an Abercrombie and Fitch or Hollister specifically, you are not hired as a cashier. You're not hired as like general staff or stocking. You're hired as a model. So you are a model slash brand ambassador. No matter what position you have, model slash brand ambassador. And the reason that they do that is twofold. One, so that you feel like you're part of this team and you might go somewhere in this business. And two, because they can fire you if you get fat.
Ooh.
They can fire you if you no longer fit the model mold that represents their company. And I know multiple girls who have gotten fired because of acne flare-ups, because they have gained weight, because they chose to wear elements of their clothing like a hijab that do not fit the Hollister model. So I think it's fairly disgusting, actually. The CEO of Abercrombie and Fitch also said that their clothing was aspirational. It's not for everybody. You know, the look is not something that everybody fits into. It's they have a mold that you're supposed to fit your body into. They don't work for everybody. Same as Lululemon. Lululemon does not provide clothing upwards of size 12. Like you're supposed to work to fit their clothing, which is despicable.
Wow, that's horrible, man. I didn't because like I tried my daughter, the oldest one, the stepdaughter, 27. She used to be into. She had her little era where she was in all that. So I bought her, Aeropostale shirts and whatever every now and then when they went on sale. And out of curiosity, I usually rock a double X, maybe 2X, or maybe an XL if it's a bigger one. And I went in there and like tried on the XL. It's probably the biggest shirt I could find in there. And I was a stuffed sausage. I mean, I'm not svelte. I mean, I'm a bigger guy. I'm a fat ass, as they say, dad bod, whatever you want to call it. But like, there was no way anything in the store was ever gonna fit me unless I fucking, went running and biking every day and starved myself. So like, I totally get what you said on that. That's yeah, and Abercrombie and Fitch too. And this whole model, that whole line. I mean, it's like the frat boys, like the sororities and the frats. You get the Eber zombies, they used to call them, with the pop polos and all that, stereotype. Because I can't even fit their hats. Like I wear these big ass New Era 5950s. I got a size 8. It's one of the biggest ones out there, and they don't sell anything like that in them stores. So it's pretty much all that. Like Doof said though, I mean, that whole era was mostly the 2000s, and it's mostly kind of evaporated now. Like, I mean, for a while, and I hate to get racial, but for a while it was like, you had all the sororities and everything buying it, and then the Asian crowd started buying a lot of it. And they were fun, and they were doing the fashion for a lot of years, like back when China was booming back in 12, 13, 14. They were buying a lot of it. And then after that, even faded out. And then during the lockdowns, it was zapped. So it didn't even exist anymore.
I mean, I'm happy that the younger generations, like people younger than me, they don't want Hollister on their ass anymore. The way that my generation did. They're a lot more aware of globalization. They're a lot more aware of the oppression of people involved in the fast fashion industry, of the environmental effects that it's having. They're just smarter and they care more. So they would rather buy things from like Etsy. They would rather make something themselves than have pink slathered on their tits. Like, and that's something that I really regret, because when I was in high school, thank you, P. But that was something that I really aspired to, is like all of us wanted the labels on the outside of our clothing so that we could fit in and be cool. And now people are just like, well, why would you let your body be a billboard, and why would you pay them for it? And I'm very proud to see that.
Oh, it's funny, man. Back in the day, I used to, because I was an awkward teen, man. I didn't really have girlfriends till later in life, and to get married till then. But back in the day, it's if I just go out and buy these Tommy Hilfiger shirts or these Nautica shirts or Timberlands, whatever, the chicks will come flocking. Didn't work. I mean, it's just, you got to utilize your assets, your wit, your comedy, your deep radio voice. I mean, this shirt right here was $1, man. I bought this Black Crow shirt for $1 out in Walmart in Madison, Ohio, because we're out there for summer camp. Me and Jay were, my son, and they're like, "Oh, you got to get this form filled out." Or no, that wasn't it. That was a different day. I had to pick up some supplies and shit. So I was like, "Yes, I'm definitely willing to leave the camp," because I'm not really an outdoorsy kind of guy. I just do it. So there really wasn't much for me to do, because I wasn't like teaching any class or whatever. So I was like, I will 100% go to the Walmart. And it was just like a Tuesday or a Wednesday, like noon, 10 o'clock noon, something like that. And as I got there, Mags, they were putting out these shirts, $1 shirts. And then she put out like fucking 10 of them. I bought like every one of them. It was like $1 out the door. There's like a Black Crow shirt, salt and pepper shirt. It's great. It's great. I'm not a buy stuff on, everything I buy is on clearance or sale now. I don't, I mean, I can't say that for sure, because like hats, I really like my baseball hats. You know what I mean? I got hundreds of baseball hats. So every now and then I'll get, but I get like veterans discounts and stuff. So it's not too bad on that part.
I'm just glad that there are so many people who are like, oh, I'm never paying $600 for a Gucci shirt, because that's fucking stupid,
Ever. All right, says Miss Hippie, I thank you for being interviewed by the greatest interview in all of history. We're getting to some of the usual questions, Doof. We got some time. We'll get to the silly questions. And I gotta do a gummy, because Doof did his member milestone super chat. He's been around for a while, man. It's a good dude, Doof. I like it. So here's the gum. These gummies are great, man. They're cotton candy. They taste like cotton candy. They don't taste like weed afterwards. They're great. They're freaking amazing.
I get mine from Diet Smoke, but if I went with the same like gummy policy, I'd be on the floor. Like 10 milligrams and I'm on my ass. Like,
oh no shit! Wow. See, we had the Weed Olympics episode, and I think I did about 300-400 milligrams.
oh
For the one episode, we actually tried to overdose. Well, I did, and I did the tincture, the 500 milligram drops of tincture. I bought 2 bottles of that and did it like a shot. And I don't recommend that at all because it will. You'll laugh your ass off for about 45 minutes, and you'll sleep for 19 hours. You will just be out. You'll be done. You'll be ridiculous.
see, I'm a cheap date because like you give me 5 milligrams, I'm like coasting for the night. Like I'm good.
I got so many friends like that. I got friends who are afraid of it because we got so many stories of like people going to the ER or people passing out or freaking out. Oh, my arm's not here. And it's like, your arm's there, bro. It's there. Just calm down. You know, it's funny to me, man, because maybe my tolerance is at such a level that it's ridiculous to the roof, but still makes me laugh when people get paranoid on the weed. We'll get into some weed later too, for sure.
I mean, there's tolerance, but there's also like how you go into something really affects how you have it. Cause like I grew up with the DARE program and like that shit don't work. Like the only thing I really remember from the DARE program is that the officers' pants were like way too tight. Like that's the most vivid memory that I have. But it was absolutely this fear-based thing. So there are so many people who think like, if I smoke one marijuana one time, I'm gonna die. And it's like, nah, you're not. But like if that's what you think, it's the same as when you say, I'm not gonna go to that party because I'm gonna have a shit time. And then you go to the party and you have a shit time. It's like, well, yeah, man. Like
I've done a total 180 on weed in my life. I used to be, well, I mean, partially was because I was I was in the military, you'd be drug tested and shit like that. But once I retired in 15, I was like, you know what? It's time for some weed. And I'll tell you what, I'm not gonna say weed completely saved my life. Some of that might have been willpower, but your boy would have been probably crazy drunk in the gutter somewhere if not for the weed. Because like 2018, man, I was rolling hard, dude. I was out there partying, drinking, driving, fucking comedy shows, this and that, and had a girlfriend. It was ridiculous. And then fucking it slowed down a little bit after the DUI. But yeah, but weed, it was great. It just makes it so much more easier in life. You know, you just don't care about the stupid shit. You know, if a bill's late, oh well, are they gonna repo whatever the fucking thing they're late for? Nope. Okay, I can wait till next month. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? It's just little stuff like that. It's just where it's at, man.
I'm not gonna tell anybody like you should be on drugs. Like that's not what I'm trying to say. But I can tell you that personally, because I had this conversation with my dad a couple years ago. Because like I'm an adult woman. He's aware of that. You know, he doesn't like that I have sex, but it's apparent I have a kid. Like he asked me how I feel about weed becoming more socially acceptable and becoming legal in a lot of forms in a lot of states. And I told him like, listen, Dad, I'm a girl. I've got boobs. Like, I don't buy drugs. Like, guys just give me drugs. You know what I mean? Like when I was in college, like I never bought drugs. Like I didn't have, I'm going to be really honest here. Like I didn't buy drugs. Like people would give me drugs. And I said like, that's fucking crazy. Like that I would just smoke a joint that somebody handed me. But I did that because it wasn't legal. Now, if you had asked me like, hey, here's a handful of pills. Want one? I'd be like, you fucking crazy. But one thing that I like about the legalization of marijuana is it's taxable income for states, which is really important, but it's regulated and it's safer. Like you should not smoke a joint at a party when you don't know what the fuck is in it. You don't know what the strain is. You don't know what it's going to hit like. But when you can go to a dispensary and have a conversation with someone about like, here's the kind of high that I want. Here's what I'm interested in. What should I be doing? And they can have an intelligent conversation with you about it. That's just so much safer. Like, and my dad's eyes nearly popped out of his fucking head because there's just like, yeah, I'm a girl. I don't buy drugs. Like, so I like that as an adult, I can have those conversations. And like, when I'm again on my 5 milligrams, like the tiniest amount you can have, like, I feel like it's me without anxiety. Like I don't get fucked up, like my goal is never to get like annihilated the way that a lot of people do with legal things.
It makes me laugh.
Like alcohol,
It makes me laugh when you say women never pay for drugs because like, I give it the wife takes a couple week gummies before she goes to bed every night. And she's never once paid for any of this. I bought all her weed. And I got many friends, not just women. I give a lot of weed out just because, somebody comes over I'm a social guy. I got plenty of fucking weed. We're smoking. I tell it all the time. Maybe wants to come over for a show, come over. I will smoke you out, man, until you can't fucking move. Like if you come over and smoke and you aren't to the point where you can barely move, I consider it an insult as a stoner that you're doing this to me. You're getting high. We're gonna get like what the Smokey from Friday said. We're gonna get you high today, motherfucker. That's how it's gonna be. So if you come over here, we're gonna get smoked. And it does make me laugh though, because I do give out quite a bit of weed. And if girls, I guess if a girl doesn't become a complete pothead, if you're smoking every day, all day, it gets a little old. But yeah, girls don't really have to pay for any drugs, really, especially weed. Oh shit, that's great. Oh,
also, I don't advocate for that. Like I don't advocate.
Oh, 100%. All right, we got a question from Dave. He says, "Can you ask Refashioned Hippie if that is a real Bonzi tree behind you or a 3D printed model?"
Okay, so my mother-in-law bought this at home, and I've never taken the tag off because I'm lazy. This is fake as shit, which annoys my father because he's an actual bonsai artist. He's actually going to be giving a talk at the National Arboretum in April, and every time he sees this, it like burns him up inside. So this is super fake. And sorry, Dad. I love that. Like I just talked about weed on the internet for 10 minutes, and he's going to be mostly upset about the fucking tree. Like,
oh yeah, well, it's funny with the weed stuff because my kids, they don't want to smoke at all. I mean, the older one, she'll do edibles every now and then, but she doesn't smoke the flower anymore. And the younger kids, they want nothing to do with it. And it's like, come on, man, I'm a stoner. I got a reputation uphold. Can't be out here, preaching the values of the Lord and shit like this and he just be getting high and being on the creative directional team. And they're not having it, Megs. It's, but they're good kids. So I love my kids. A lot of my kids are awesome. All right, let's get back into some theater stuff real quick. Did you try to do anything professionally with that at all? Or did you just kind of punt after you graduated? What was the deal there?
So kind of. So after college, I got an internship at Hedgerow in Media, Pennsylvania. It's America's oldest repertory theater. It's a really wonderful place. I acted for them for 9 months. And I just really learned it was not something that I wanted to do. So I never went out for like movies or anything after that because, okay, so I've been in A Christmas Carol 437 times as every female character, most of the male ones. It just really, it was an expression of creativity, but it wasn't what I wanted. But like none of you can name a professional playwright because they don't exist. So, I didn't have the fire for acting that so many people have because there are so many people who wait tables for 20 years waiting for their break because they just love being on stage or on film so much that that's worth it for them. It wasn't for me. It was fun, but every part that I got cast in, I felt like I was just standing in someone else's shoes. And I also met a lot of actors who were like dicks. Because no, really though, like we can all name Nepo babies, right? Like Nicolas Cage is a fucking Coppola. Like maybe that helped a little, I met a girl who was 28 and didn't know how to boil water, but she was from a wealthy family in Philadelphia who could afford to have her go to college and then buy her an apartment and pay all of her expenses while she tried to go out for roles. So it can be a wonderful world, but it can also be a very ugly world. And I just didn't want to be a part of it.
People will work themselves. The whole entertainment industry is not just theater. You're talking, acting, singing, music, movies, comedy, all that. People will work themselves to the point of starvation on the tiniest glimmer of hope that they're going to make it big.
Yeah.
And they're doing it along with some, formula. The key is you follow the formula, you're just going to get burnt. Club people are going to burn you. You either got to be one, rich yourself, or two, think outside the box and do some crazy, stupid shit and get famous. Because if not, like you just said, you're going to be waiting tables for the rest of your life, which nothing wrong with waiting tables. Mm-hmm. But you ever try to pay for an apartment in LA or New York, waiting tables? It's not exactly fun from what I remember.
mean, it really is like winning the lottery. You can do all the right things for your entire life. And it's not a statement on your abilities. Sometimes it just doesn't happen.
Exactly. All right. Is there What are theater realities that the general public just wouldn't realize?
You work a lot. You work a lot. You go for a lot. So a successful actor, an actor who is considered successful in the industry, books 10% of the jobs they go out for. So if you want to be an actor, prepare for a whole fucking world of no, because you will not book 90% of the jobs you go for. And that's if you're successful. You also really have to know your role. There are things called character actors. One of the most successful in the world is Steve Buscemi. He's never going to play Romeo. Like, he got them eyes, but he knows his body type. He knows his skills. So he went for the right roles for him and moved up in the career. So I always feel really bad for actors who like look kind of creepy and like always get cast as like a rapist on Law and Order SVU. But like, you have to go for the roles that fit you. So you can't think that you're like 10 times hotter than you are. Like you just can't. And I was often in charge of casting because I didn't love being an actress. So I would see these women who were, tall, beautiful blondes, and they had booked everything in high school. They had always been the star in college, and they just thought the world is waiting to give me parts. And I would have to be like, baby, there's 50 of you in the hallway. And that's a reality. So it's harder than you think. You work a lot more than you think because your 10 minutes of screen time probably took 12 hours to record. And it's very feast or famine. When I lived with an actor, which, hey, Dave, buddy, no. But, there would be some months where he would have, crazy money in the bank. And then there would be months where it's like, we're eating ramen, babe. I mean, because that's, you get booked or you don't, and you don't really control that. It's very,
I've never, I'm a risk taker, but I always take calculated risks. I mean, this is all a hobby, obviously, and shit like that. And even stand up, whatever. If I go to some bar and talk for 5 minutes, if I have a good time, not, if whatever. But like, I always had from the time I was little, till now, I've always had that steady paycheck. I can't do the starvation thing, basically. Like, if I want chicken wings, man, I'm gonna go to the bar and get some chicken wings, and I'm gonna really like them chicken wings. I'm not gonna be like, oh, you know what? I gotta wait until this guy calls me back in his fucking role before I get some wings. I can't live that life, man. I just can't. And it's people will just starve to do it. It's crazy, man. It's because we glamorize it. We glamorize stupid shit in this country, Megs. We do.
I mean, if you go to New York or LA, it's really easy to like hook up with hot girls on Tinder because they want to go to dinner because they're hungry. It's a real thing.
That's why I like my Midwestern women, man. They're nice and nice and fed. Like I said, if I can't go to the bar with 2 any wings, we're not even hollering. All right, Dave wants to know what age when I had my first smoke. When did I first smoke weed? Jeez. It was in high school. I smoked a handful of times in high school, 3, 4, 5. Probably when I was 16 or so, maybe 16, 17, somewhere in there. Can't remember exactly. It wasn't a big moment in my life, to be honest with you. All right, so we got another question from Dave. He says, if you've ever been to Hooters.
I have chosen not to.
We went to a Hooters in Cincinnati. It was in Kentucky, actually. It was out on the other side of the river because we went down there for the Browns-Bengals game. And it was me, Mayo, Hernan, and Mike, my buddies. Mayo was a comic, and the other two are just, regular friends. But we're there, and man, I don't know if they just hired these girls off the street or whatever, but they didn't. I don't think they knew what food was really, and I felt bad for them because they just lit. And I hate calling them short, but it's just what stuck out in my head the most. It was just about 5'6", this little guy. He just gets on the mic and goes, "I want everybody to the front now!" Just yells at the whole staff in front of everybody. And then, when we finally do get our food, it's him bringing it out. And then he when he gets to the table, he tries making small talk. I'm like, dude, we don't come to Hooters to see your ass bring me food. Like, bring me one of the, so whatever, man. It's kind of the problem with a lot of that, in my opinion, Mags, even just any bar, is that usually douches assholes run bars and stuff like
Yeah.
that, and they just, they'll do whatever they want to harass the women. And
Yeah.
I get it. You get in a position of power. You want to bang the hot chicks, but there has to be a thing of decorum on that, and it's just never going to happen in places like that. And that's probably all strip clubs, all that kind of stuff, but not that
The
Hooters
thing
is a
is,
strip
like,
club. But
I have no problem with strippers. I have no problem with women who do OnlyFans. I have no problem with women who choose to work at Hooters. It's just, it is a transactional relationship, and be aware of that. But just because you have money does not mean you get to like abuse a woman. And it's so easy in an environment like that to do that.
mm-hmm.
So I mean that's my biggest problem with it, because it's like, if you're gonna go to Hooters, but like be fucking respectful about it. Tip your goddamn waitress. Like, don't think that you can give her an extra $10 and feel her butt. Like, that's not how that works.
and that's and that's and a lot of the time, and I'll admit to learning this myself. I mean, they don't really teach you this part of life, but like that's something they don't teach you. And a lot of times the person's not exactly going to say something, because they're just like, ah.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, just be, I always put it like this, take your own, if you got a mom or if you got a daughter or something like that, something like that. Just, and I know that's kind of contradictory because I constantly talk about titties, guys. That my audience knows I'm a titty guy. But, it just, you gotta, anytime I'm joking with a girl about her stuff, I'm usually, we've already joked about it. We've established this joking premise before. I'm not going to walk up to some, random bartender and be like, oh, nice rack there. It just establishes a bad,
But like, there's nothing wrong with liking titties. Like, I like titties. Ain't it, like, they jiggle. It's fun. But like, you also have to realize that like she's at work. So if you say that to her and she's just like, ha, 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 like, she's not into you. Like, her manager is watching her and she can't tell you to fuck off or she'll lose her job. So like, just be aware.
They should let the waitresses tell people to fuck off. The guys
they
are
absolutely fucking should. Also, if you're shopping on Black Friday, every employee should get to open hand slap you one time. Like, they're at work.
People love that stuff. All right, now did you go to like eBay to sell some stuff, or what was like your first couple business ideas with the fashion, and how successful in your opinion were they?
So I got super sick when I was pregnant, and I had to quit my job because it was like not fair to have them keep paying me to fall asleep at my desk. So I started selling some of my old clothing on Poshmark. That kind of took off, and I realized that if I treated it like a business, I would earn like I was in a business. So I started selling on Poshmark, eBay, Mercari, Facebook Marketplace. I did all of it, and I had some success with that. I was making what I used to make when I worked in a different kind of environment. And I got to stay home and be a stay-at-home mom, which was really important to me because I got to see all of those moments of my daughter's life that my husband missed because he was at work. And childcare is fucking crazy. So like my entire paycheck would have gone to childcare. So I started my Instagram just to raise awareness for my clothing selling business, but I've transitioned to essentially working on social media because I make so much more now from my YouTube than I ever made working a traditional job. I love it. And I get to make fun of rich people, which is just great.
Well, the beauty of YouTube is the you part. It gets to be every part that is awesome about you as a person can be reflected if you know how to entertain and bring the heat. And I mean, that's what I love about it. Like, I could be a boring guy, it could be funny, I don't know. But at the end of the day, if you make a video and you're on YouTube and people are watching it, that does feel good. I'm not sitting here saying every video I get gets a million views. I've never had a million view video. But at the end of the day, the you part of YouTube is the most fabulous part of it. It really is.
I'm going to give you the secret to blow up on the internet, okay? And you're going to like, boobs. You get some boobs.
Boobs.
Really
and we're going to get into some boob stocks and a boob talk in a second. But
oh God.
it's not much. But yeah, it's
wait, do you have like boob questions written down?
I only got one. We could get in. I was going to talk about the book and then talk about YouTube and then get into the boobs. So it's one boob question I had. All right, but let's talk about the book though. At what point did you write the book? It's called "Why I Hate Everything: Reflections on a Decade in Retail." It's available at Amazon's everywhere.
It is.
And
we write audiobook.
If you have Prime, I think it's a free Kindle download. I think actually. And she gets like 8 cents, so definitely hook that up. But if did you still write that when you were, working at the store? You already like, what, I'm writing this fucking book. This is too good. Was it after you quit? When did you write this book?
So I started writing it when I was 15 because my mom kept telling me to, because I'm pretty sure I would come home every day and like tell her about my day, and she'd be like, "Shut the fuck up. Like, write it down, baby." But really it's about working in a donut store, and then the various thrift stores I worked in, and then my corporate job. And I think it's funny. I hope people enjoy it. It's gotten some really good reviews. If you're into clothing selling at all, I also have a second book which teaches you exactly how to do that. If you ever have any questions, please email me anytime, refashionedhippie@gmail.com. But yeah, I wrote it just because I think anyone who's ever worked retail or food service, especially, you see the darkest fucking parts of people's minds. I mean,
Well, what
I'm
it's
sorry,
weird though. Like, why is because like I
Eldo.
mean,
That's a great question. Sorry, carry
it's
on.
weird though because like you think about that and it's true though. Like traffic and tiny retail transactions is when we get the most angry as human beings. And I was telling my kids the other day, like if I can learn to control my anger over the stupid shit in traffic, that's almost complete zen. Because like you're in traffic and around here we got 35-mile-an-hour streets, and you'll get these guys going 30 mile an hour. And I'm a bam 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 kind of guy, Mags. I get into places like I don't like fucking pissing around. And these guys are driving, and you're just like, "Will you drive?" And you'll get into Call of Duty mode. You're a video gamer, you just turn your brain off and you say every swear word in the book about the person in front of you because you want to save 8 seconds. At the end of the day, in the whole zeitgeist, it makes no sense whatsoever. And it's the same thing with retail. Like, oh, McDonald's fucked my free fries up. God damn it! It's like, who cares? Why are we so? Why do you? That's a good question. Why do you think, as a society, is it just the hyper capitalistic nature of us, or why do you think we're so angry at such little tiny moments that really mean nothing?
Oh, babe. People are so fucking weird. Like, so I think it's called protagonist syndrome, main character syndrome, where everybody feels like they are the main character of the story and you are an NPC. Uh, and I can tell you that's fucking true. So I'm a lady. I shop in lady places. If you go into a Victoria's Secret, behind every register, there's a big mirror. And the reason for that is because people don't like to see themselves being an asshole. So they put a big mirror so that anyone who comes in with a return has to look at themselves while they like blame you for something not fitting their tits. Like, retail and food service change you as a person. They change you as a person. But yeah, people just have this insane mentality that like they are the only real person and you exist to serve a function for them.
Entitlement is a lot of entitlement, man. And I try to work on that all the time. And I know that some people might be like, oh, you're this and that, but like if the less just put yourself in that person's shoes.
Absolutely.
We've all maybe not everybody has worked retail, or maybe not everybody's worked fast food. I worked Long John Silver's years ago when I was a kid, Pizza Hut, shit like that. But like put yourself in these people, they're working for 10, 12, $11 an hour, whatever it is, all day on their feet, hot ass shit. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I mean, once I got done with college and I was done with security guard work and all that bullshit, these jobs are easy. I'm sitting down typing, I can multitask, whatever. This is fun. It's nothing compared. Man, to this day, 1993, Long John Silver's, that was my hardest job. To this fucking
When I
day.
was working in the mall, if I had to call out sick, I needed 24 hours notice and to find my own replacement if I was sick. When my husband needs to call out sick, my husband who out earns me 5 times, he'll just pick up the phone and be like, "Hey, not coming in today." All right, thanks.
I could text off. Not only can I text off, I could text a friend to text the boss to text me off.
Yeah.
Not only that, I'm such good friends with the boss. I could text the boss in a group chat and make a joke about the Cavs game last night and still get off. Because that's how good of a relationship you are, and that's how work for the government, better employee stuff. But like that's just the difference between once I saw government work, even the hardest of government work to me makes it just so easy compared to retail.
But you know what? It's always easier for men to get off. That's been my experience.
All right. At what point did you decide to take your talents to YouTube, and describe what you first did on YouTube and some early lessons you learned?
I want to say that I've been very lucky across all of my channels. I have about 1.5 million followers, and there's so much luck involved in that. But I was very lucky to find a very specific niche that a lot of people agree with, which is the stupid rich people fashion. The first thing that I did that went completely viral was things you can find for free and sell for profit on eBay. And I just did that because I thought it would be kind of fun and like kind of cool that like you can pick up pine cones and sell them, because there are people who live in places that don't have pine cones that want them as Christmas decorations, just dumb shit like that. But I was flooded with all of these responses by people who are like, I am barely getting by. This is really going to help me and my family. And that was so sad to me that kept the fire burning of the rich people stuff. So I was very lucky that I found a niche. But the best advice I can give you if you want to have your own channel is be yourself. When you put on an act and act people like they can tell and they hate it, and it's fucking unsustainable. It is unsustainable.
No, we preach all the time. You got to be real, man. I pride myself on being real. I mean, could I make this a drama channel and bombard you with questions that you didn't like and get? And yeah, sure I could, but then I wouldn't establish friendships. I wouldn't be able to work with people in the future. I wouldn't plant them long-term seeds of YouTube growth that's planting the trees of tomorrow. And it grows on trees, fucking money. So if I want some money, long term, if I want to establish that, you can't be a dick. It goes back to just not being a dick. If you're a dick, you're not going to make it out there in YouTube. You might make it on the fringes if you find some people who can, use you for things, but you're not going to establish it the way you want, the way you think it's going to be.
I mean, I can also tell you, like doing that QVC shit for an hour straight is fucking exhausting. Like I've done it for certain events, and it is fucking exhausting when you just have to like, hi and welcome to our next product. Like it's fucking tiring. Sorry.
That's why I just do the low key. We're just smoking, chilling, having a good time, because I ain't got no time for the other stuff. I don't. Oh, my buddy John, the Nerd in Motion, says, "Are you an awesome hippie? I'm disappointed you don't have exceptionally hairy armpits."
I'm so sorry, John. I've betrayed you.
Maybe if you super chattered up for the extreme chat, he should get grow it out. You never know. Everybody's got their price. I mean, if somebody super chat me $500, I'd probably get out those clippers right now and shave them fuckers. I don't care. But what did you just kind of talked about it? What was your big break, so to speak? And was there a time that you felt like you really made it on YouTube? If that makes sense.
So definitely the stupid rich people fashion has been my biggest break and the most sustainable thing that I have. When I felt like I really made it was Dawn French commented on one of my reels, and I saw that she follows me. If you don't know Dawn French, I watched her in The Vicar of Dibley growing up. She was the fat lady, the portrait of the fat lady in Harry Potter. Like she's an actress that I watched as a child and I love. And when I saw that she followed me, I'm relatively new to YouTube. I don't know a lot of shit. So I looked, and Sharon Stone, Jaleel White, Dita Von Teese, like I started seeing Tommy Lee for some reason. Like I started seeing that celebrities follow me. And I was just like, whoa, like I was so not cool about it. Like every time I see something pop up, I'm like, like a little baby. But that was really when I lost my mind a little bit.
Yeah, he's in the UK. Yeah.
Hey, baby. Like
All right, and this Dave's question will lead to my question now. What percentage of your success do you attribute to your assets?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it gets me in some doors. But what keeps me there is my brain.
It's good advice. It's very good advice. Because like you said earlier, I mean, the key as guys, we can't really do this. There's no, nut cleavage or anything like that. But if you put that cleavage in the thumbnail, there's an entire nation of people in Asia, 1.4 billion, and half of those guys, half of the nation is guys. You're talking 700 million people who think that for some reason they could just come on the stream and say I love you and make wife me or whatever the fuck broken English things they do, and they're gonna all of a sudden hop on a plane and move to Bombay. So I'd say just to get them raw numbers, man. Fucking hell, that tits and a thumbnail will just work every time, man. It's and I fall for it too. I do. I'm sitting here on Facebook, and there's I click a thing, and some jackass fucking lip syncing some bullshit, and they're like, "Why did I fucking click this?" And so it works, and we all fall for it, but it happens. You can't, like my friend Tasha says, you can't. She didn't, she was born with them. What can you do? You gotta. I use my assets. I use my tallness. I use my deep voice. If there's nothing wrong with looking good. Nothing wrong with looking pretty. In my opinion, at least.
But I mean, we've all experienced this because, like, you've all known pretty girls who are only fucking pretty girls. Like, you don't want Amber Heard at the end of the day because that bitch is crazy. Like, and the amount of women who, when you click on a YouTube video and there's like, "Hi guys, today we're gonna talk about my makeup routine." It's fucking infuriating. So like, I can't say that men haven't clicked on my videos because I've got big fucking titties. Like they tell me that they do. But if you have nothing else, that's unsustainable. And also there's a dark side that comes with that. I clapped back at a man because he was being disrespectful in my comments and like, it's my fucking channel, go fuck yourself. And he sent me an email asking how much it would be to have a video of me fucking myself with my toothbrush and then brushing my teeth. Because again, men feel that if they have money, they have power. So there's a dark side to like having tits on the internet. And if you have a teenage daughter who wants to start her own YouTube channel, you're going to want to watch that.
To answer the question, for the price for me to do that, it'd be about 15 grand. If you wanted me to do that, stick a toothbrush on my ass and brush my teeth, I'll do it for about 15 grand.
I mean, but the thing is, like, I'm proud to say that, like, you can go fuck yourself because I make my own money, and all of those guys who come in and say, "Well, you're just a pair of tits," is like, okay, you're on my channel with 430,000 subscribers. You can move the fuck along. Like, I've built my career to be who I am. I'm making my own money. So I don't need the $20 you're pledging me to flash you guys. Like, you can go to the strip club and you can do that if you want. Like,
that's great. That's great.
Men are horrifying.
It's funny because like there's a lot of nice guys out there. There really are. And there's that I don't know what the percentage is, 5, 10, 20, who knows. But there's that percentage of people out there who think that all chicks are just, you give them money or give them whatever, and they turn into these sexual beasts. And it's just not the way the world works, man. And nobody ever teaches these guys this stuff. And it's kind of funny to watch it. I mean, as a guy, it's funny watching me. If that was happening to me, I'd be like, what the fuck? But
there's such anonymity on the internet, though. And I'm going to say the meme thing, but like, every woman knows a woman who's been raped. No man knows a rapist. It's weird. The math don't add up. Like the person that you know is not the person that they might be online, because I get to see the person they are online.
All right. This is a question. What are our favorite fast food joints? Me personally, I'm trying to cut out the fast food because I had on the Dr. Dan a couple weeks ago, and I was asking him about the McDonald's because we frequent the McDonald's, and he was like, "Yeah, it's all crap. It's all." And I was like, "All right, I'm going to go on this kick." And I've been on a kick for the past couple weeks, like up on the fruits and veg and shit like that. But typically, I mean, it'd be like, McDonald's, Taco Bell. I'm not really there's not one that I go to that's like, "Oh my God, you got to go here." I mean, I guess Mr. Hero here in Cleveland, but even then, it's all just processed crap. So in my opinion, it's whatever. You know what I mean? But do you have any?
Same thing. I try not to eat fast food because I was raised by a classically trained French chef. Like, I don't eat a lot. I didn't go to McDonald's before I went to college. And when they tried to take me in college and I didn't know how to order, they were like, "Bitch, are you Amish?" That said, I will fuck up a Panera.
My daughter loves Panera too. I gotta go the bread bowl. I like the bread bowl Panera.
The bread bowl with chips every time.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Welcome to the party. Dave says, shout out to Finley. He wants you to shout out Finley.
He also asked for other things. So Finley, hi. Hi, Finley. I will tell you that 40 million people are enslaved worldwide for the fast fashion industry. So if you want to do better and shop better, don't support brands like Shein and Temu, because anybody who's producing items for that cheap means that someone else is paying for it.
That's a very, very good topic. I was actually going to talk about that earlier and I forgot about it. But I see some of these ads, on the Facebook feed, Meg. So, I mean, I'm not involved in fashion. I mean, my fashion is I go to the store, buy clothes. But like, I see some of the advertisements for the stuff that's offered. And in my opinion, China, I don't encourage the team we use. I get some jerseys from China, but I think they got a better handle on like the fast fashion stuff, at least for thicker body frames, the stuff that's not going to be sold at the Abercrombie or the mall and stuff like that. I think they have a better handle on that, and that they're selling stuff that people. I mean, well, it's cheap. That's the main reason. But what's your take on? Do you think China's like kind of infiltrating the market a little bit in that regard? Because I see some of these ads, and this is stuff that makes a girl look sexy that wouldn't be sold at a store around here. You know what I mean?
So, I mean, I just want to reiterate, if something is suspiciously cheap, then you should be suspicious. Um, there are a lot of brands like Walmart. Walmart has pledged that they do not use sweatshops, and Walmart doesn't. However, third-party sellers that work for Walmart will contract out work sometimes. Like, it's just do what you can to shop secondhand. Don't support brands like Shein and Temu. Um, if you need something, you can go to Poshmark, eBay, Mercari. Just do the best that you can. Is what Nobody's perfect. I rail against fucking Starbucks. I had fucking Starbucks today. Like it's about doing better, not about being perfect.
It's hard too, though, and I get it
It
because,
is,
like,
and we
I
all have
mean,
to live.
yeah, I mean, if you're out there and you can't afford clothes, and this company is offering, I
Yep.
don't know what the hell they do, 90% cheaper and free shipping, you're like, you know
Yep.
what? I'm not gonna, care about the later. I mean, do you think there's really an overall solution to this problem without, a certain part of the world collapsing? I mean,
I mean,
there's
listen, if you were going to only support good brands, you'd have to A, be a fucking millionaire, and B, live in the woods and grow your own food and grow your own cotton to sew your own t-shirts. Like it's not possible. How many of us have shopped at Amazon when we all know that drivers are pressed so hard they're peeing in bottles to keep their numbers up? Like
uh,
you just do the best you can. And exactly, like, I'm a bigger fucking girl, you're a bigger guy. Like, we can't shop everywhere. It's not easy. I'm a 6X in China. Like, I know that because I buy some shit from Amazon. Like, but you do the best you can.
yeah, I always order the 3X because even the 3X comes in like a small 2X when I get the Chinese jerseys and stuff like that. All right. Were you always a gamer? And what are some of your favorite just overall games?
So I have three brothers. I didn't wear lipstick till I was 22. I grew up gaming. Um, my favorite game of all time is probably Assassin's Creed Odyssey, because that's like such a great one to get stoned and play. Zelda's great. I'm a big like open world exploration thing. I don't do great on a track. Horizon Zero Dawn, absolutely amazing. But all said and done, like going into COD and shooting people is just kind of fun. Like I like some first person shooters too, because there's a lot of pressure in a lot of games that you like don't feel in COD when you're going into like invasion. You just run over people in a car. It feels good. They crunch. Like so yeah.
Well, do you think this is a weird question about the gaming? But I mean, it's known that like Call of Duty and all that they have free talking, like you're saying, and you get games like Grand Theft Auto where they're where everybody who played Vice City, fucking after you get done banging a hooker, you'd run over and get your money back. We all did it. Don't say you didn't do it.
Yep.
Do you think there's a way? And I know people hate hearing this, but I mean, do you think the video game culture just contributes to a lot of the just thought processes of certain people, the way they think about life? Does that make sense?
No, it does. It does. And I can't say that it doesn't. But I can say that there used to be newspaper stories about how newspapers would cause the downfall of society because people didn't speak anymore on trains. They're all just sitting there in the written word. And same thing with cell phones, that cell phones would be the downfall of society because everybody's just on their cell phones now. So I think it's really easy to blame movies, music, blah, blah, blah. Like, and yes, people will get caught up. People will use it as an excuse. but people will also be alcoholics. People will, do way too much weed. Like there's always going to be a thing. So with video games, just like with alcohol, there are people who can enjoy them in moderation, and there are people who have a fucking bender. So it's an easy excuse to give, but removing them from society wouldn't fix problems. The people who are problematic will just attach to something else.
Oh, piggybacking on that, do you think that guys who are gamers are attractive to most women? It seems like it seems to be a lot of the lonely types, those Sigma guys. They just sit in the house and they don't really want to talk to people. It's like, how could guys use any video game ability to just become more? And I know I'm stereotyping out there, guys. I know there's probably hot guys who get all kinds of ass and whatever, but the stereotypical gamer, like, what would you think they could do to, become more desirable?
I mean, so first of all, that is a huge stereotype, and I'm not going to say that you're wrong, but I am going to say there's a difference between the men who like hear my voice when I say good game after shooting them in the face and call me a whore. There's a difference between men who punch holes in walls. Like, babies are gonna baby, men are gonna be men. So you have to put yourself out there a little bit. But like, I love coming on my gaming streams. I love guys who want to talk to me about gaming. It's basic life advice: don't be a dick.
I'm not a big gamer.
That's probably not what you're looking for, but like,
Oh.
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of incels, but gamers, I think, tend to be nice people.
But we got a barbecue question from Leprechaun TV. He asks, "What do you think of Blackstone and Weber merging?"
Oh shit, I don't know.
She does not know, sir. She does not know. But another question from Dave. Can you ask what Refashioned Hippie's opinion is on Apple's association with cobalt mining? I was doing in the Congo. It's a good topic, actually.
I mean, again, Apple is an evil organization that we all have to work with.
Right? I mean, bottom line, you don't have a $1.5 trillion market cap and not get away with some shit in this world. All right, let's get it.
Same as like AT&T had a problem with people jumping to their deaths from their facilities in Indonesia. So they did the humane thing and installed nets so they couldn't.
Bounce back up. Just Mario Brothers right back in the office, right? All right. God, this world is pretty fucked up, isn't it? Jesus.
But really, again, like, if you're only going to shop from ethical companies, I hope you have $1 billion in your back pocket. Like,
hey, you better be on
not good, but
all right, let's get into some weed here. You can't be a good hippie or stoner without some weed. Now, how old were you when you first smoked weed, and what were your initial thoughts about the product?
19. And I was so uncool that a boy I like texted me in college and asked me to go for a blunt ride. And I was like, absolutely. And then I Googled blunt ride and found out what it was. And he tried to shotgun. And I was like, what are you doing? So my initial thing is I was not, I didn't like know what was going on, but I learned that it's basically me without anxiety. So again, I had to find the right shit. And now I only do gummies because it's just a more consistent high for me. But I found what works for me, which is an extremely low dosage, like once a week. Usually I take a gummy before my live and then I go into my gaming stream, and that just lets me roll right through. But that's what I do.
Okay. Yeah, I do a lot more weed stuff, man. It's perfect for streaming, like we both do. It's
I'm a conservative stoner. I think.
I'm not gonna lie, and I'm not trying to brag here, but if I was to, because I've smoked with hundreds of people at this point. I smoke with so many fucking people, and I'm easily in the top 1 or 2% of tolerance and people who smoke, at least in the productive group. Because you get a lot of people, they can maybe smoke and they don't really do much, but like I get on weed, man, I'm fucking hyper. My guys know I'm just like, I'm high right now. You saw me pop a couple gummies. I'm fucking I'm ready to roll. I could run into the wall at first right now. I don't give a, I just love, that's just my personality though. I'm full go all the time. I don't stop. I don't like, sitting around. But Lep has a question for you. What indica or sativa when you smoke? What do you like more?
I don't remember which is which. The one that relaxes you.
Oh, that's the Indicans. That's the Indicans. Okay.
I just hang out. I like that's all I want to do. I'm not a party girl. Like I am not the girl you call on Friday night and be like, "Let's go to the bar, bitch." I'll be like, "It is 9:30. It is like
I'm, my friends are like that, kind of. They're like kind of half. We acknowledge that we're old. You know, like we'll do this still. Let's go out. But sometimes I'll rally the troops. Like, let's go out. And they're like, bro, we're old, and you know, it's not happening. You know, because like I'd like to go out tomorrow for the game. Like I like to ask Lep, you know, this guy right here. Hey, what's up, man? Let's go to the bar and watch the game. But you know, it's you know, we might not have money, and we're old, so we'll see. We'll see. But Lep, for real, we're gonna go out and watch the game tomorrow. All right, let me focus on this question here because I had a bunch of weak questions, and you don't seem to be a daily smoker, so that doesn't apply. Oh, have you ever tried a stream? Ever tried anything on a stream that just didn't work?
oh, fuck yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, all the time. I mean, it's kind of like doing stand-up comedy. Like sometimes it just doesn't hit and you got to keep rolling. Absolutely. And the best thing you can do in that situation is just like make fun of yourself and then move on. Because like
Self-deprecation is amazing. You got to be well, think back to the movie 8 Mile. Have you guys ever seen the movie 8 Mile? When Eminem gets up there and they're in the freestyle battle and he says all the shit that the guy was going to say before he gets to him. That's a great way to live your life. Because if you see all the stuff before it happens, you never get stakes. You already know what's coming in.
but you also can't keep digging a hole because like if a bit isn't working and you keep going, it's like it's so fucking awkward. Like it's the worst.
Oh, the best is when somebody gets up there and they start blaming the audience, like, "Oh, you guys are a bunch of assholes for not laughing at my stupid joke." It's like, well, maybe your joke's not funny there, pal. You know, if in a perfect world, what could you talk about all day if you had the right audience and numbers to make you happy? Like, what's your number one passion you could talk about all day on a stream?
Oh fuck. Oh, I don't know. Fuck. Food. Food. Like sometimes when I'm high and gaming, I just like give recipes while I'm gaming because like I love potatoes. I fucking love like having a limitless supply of potatoes wouldn't solve all of my problems, but it would solve most of them.
I like
So
some.
yeah, food, definitely food.
Okay, I fuck with that. All right, Paul wants to know: do you have a lawn service,
What?
like a lawn mowing service, or do you mow your own lawn?
Oh, no, we have such a tiny lawn. I just go out there with a fucking what's that thing? Jesus. No.
Oh, weed whacker.
Weed whacker, that's it. Thank you.
Okay, so there's not enough lawn to necessitate a service, Paul.
Yeah,
So I apologize. All right, so let's get into some music now. I was thinking about this when I was doing these questions, some hippie anthems, man. White Rabbit by Jefferson Airplane, California Dreamin', Mamas and the Papas come to mind. And for me, what are some hippie anthems that, first off, you might not care for? Like a stereotypical stoner song, you're just like, I don't like this song.
Inagata de Vida. I hate it. I hate it. It's like 14 minutes long. Yeah, number one, definitely.
All right, and are there any types of music you just don't care for, like maybe country music or something like that?
Polka, not a fan.
Oh, wow.
I fucking okay. So I have a 5-year-old daughter. So pop music, but like the kids version of shit.
Kids bop.
It makes me want to punch the uterus out of a person when I hear like music that I used to drink to as like a kids bop in the trampoline park. Like it hurts my soul.
Well, they still make those. There was a video I saw the other day about that. He was like breaking it down over the 20 years and how many songs they made of the Kids Bop. And they still make those videos. It's fucking insane to me. Like, who are the people who buy Kids Bop? I mean, how are you gonna take like a Drake song or a J. Cole song, or whatever, about fucking, and then make it a kids-friendly song? Like, this makes no sense to me. The kids already know the radio songs. I'm not gonna lie, from the time the kids were born, I never censored music. I believe in, free speech. They were hearing fucking uncensored Eminem when they were coming out the womb. And I got, I'm not trying to censor the music for the little ones. Oh, here's your edited version of Bump and Grind. It's not going to work, man.
No, I heard Soulja Boy tell him, like, the Superman. I used to do that dance in fucking college, and I heard the Kids Bop version, and it was just like, I should be allowed to commit murder, just one. but murder. Murder.
Yeah, well, what on the positive side of music, what are some genres you like, some really good songs type music when you get stoned, you like really getting into?
So, kind of weird answer, but I grew up on hardcore music because my oldest brother was in a hardcore band, and instead of, like, babysitting us, he would bring us to shows, and I would run the merch table from the time I was, like, 10. So, I grew up really appreciating that and really appreciating the same, like it was hippie shit because it's like, I'm not into, like, Britney Spears, I'm not into those manufactured people the same way I'm not into manufactured clothing. So, I like speed metal, I still love hardcore, like, all the screaming shit, I still will put on, like, Bullet for My Valentine and just be like, "La, la, 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 la," like, so that's the shit that I'm into. Metallica over Pantera, definitely.
That's I've never seen Pantera. I saw Metallica in '99 at the Silver Dome. They counted down the millennium. It was like 231. Then it was year 2000 after that. So that was a good show, man. It was Metallica, and the opening for 'em was Kid Rock,
They
Ted
did a good
Nugent,
show.
and Seven Dust. That was a fucking banger show, man. That was a really good time. All right, we got a question from Dave. Can you ask Refashioned Hippie if she needs any support to e-commerce fulfillment in the UK?
That would be great. Please email me because I currently do not ship to the UK, and that would be great. I have a lot of fans in the UK, and I can't help them with nothing. So that would yeah, please email me.
Yeah, so Dave, go to her channel. I think it's refashionedhippie at gmail.com, something like that, and just pop her off an email, man. She'll look it up for you.
Yeah, that'd be
All
great.
right. What men's fashion items do you like personally, and what are some that most chicks in general, in your opinion, like just typical fashion standards?
Um, Honestly, you can't go wrong with, like, a nice button down and jeans because, like, the difference between taking your girl out in a t-shirt versus a button down shirt is huge. And it's really basic. If you find something that fits you that you like, please stop wearing jorts. Never again. Jorts. Stop it. Burn them. Um,
It makes me laugh, Megs, because I got up until like '07, I wore nothing but jorts. My entire and the second I stopped wearing them fucking things, like I wear pants constantly. I pretty much never wear shorts. The second that happened, 2 years later, I'm married, I got kids, I got a YouTube channel. I'm not, super hot, but I mean, I'm moderately attractive. It's like that piece of advice right there. I mean, kind of answer my next question. What are some things you don't do? George, right there. I mean, you're not Tim Tebow. It's just not going to work. You got to drop them. There's no George. They shouldn't even
Okay.
make those. I don't even think they sell them at the Target or Walmart anymore. I haven't seen a pair of George in years. I
Yeah,
still
they're
kept them all though for like costume purposes. I got a whole closet of George upstairs. There's like 30 of them pairs. I used to buy 2 or 3 pairs of George every year. Fuck, that was a weird time, man. It was horrible.
I'm judging real hard right now. Let me also give all of the men watching this some advice. Go through your underwear. If it is stained, if it is ripped, if the elastic is worn out, get rid of it. Okay, nothing is more disappointing than when you are a lady and you do your hair and your makeup and your nails and your jewelry and you get like some shit on that's working and you walk in and your man is in like tidy whities with a hole. Like men have to do so little. Just check your underwear. Like stop telling yourself that nobody else is going to see it, so it's fine that there's like a stain on the butt. Like just get rid of it. It's cheap.
Right.
Go to Walmart, get new shit.
I always bought a new pair of underwear, new pair, or no, not new pair, but like a new pack, new pair of socks, new pack of socks, like before every trip. So that way, it's nice. Like I travel, and not every trip, but like if I go away for a week or something, I buy, a 10 pack or whatever. It's easier. It was easier for me than packing. I mean, I'm not a packer. I hate packing, dude. I do not like packing. I don't even put my clothes away here at the house. I'm gonna put them in a suitcase. All right, now tell me about your mom's charity, and if she's still an inspiration to you, and talk about any random people that may inspire you who aren't like immediately obvious.
Oh, absolutely. So my mom's charity is Sanctuary Village. She founded it because during COVID in the city of Philadelphia, basically all of the resources for the homeless were completely cut off. I'm sure you guys remember when it first hit, it was really scary. We didn't know what was causing it, what was spreading it, all this shit. So anything that required people to gather was cut off, which for the homeless was catastrophic. Um, so she looked into the best ways to solve homelessness, and it turns out the answer is to give them a house. So the current design is 12 homes in the city of Philadelphia, People tend to stay for between 4 to 6 months, and by that time, they have enough money to find their own place to live permanently. But yeah, she's absolutely an inspiration, especially because in the beginning, we had no fucking clue what we were doing. And there are a lot of people who said that we were doing it wrong, but we were the people who were doing something. You know, it's really easy to criticize someone, and yeah, maybe it's not the best solution, but we were the ones doing something. So yeah, she's a huge inspiration to me. Another one is Gillian Anderson.
Okay, the X
I
File.
keep
Okay.
a framed photo of her flipping people off because she's someone who hey Paul, great question. Could you highlight that please? About 50% of homeless people not only have employment but have full-time employment. Uh, if you look up Zillow's latest information on how to afford a basic one-bedroom apartment, it is to have 3 roommates or 4 full-time jobs. It is really hard to live in this country. A lot of them have jobs. Homeless people tend to not be homeless because they're lazy, because they just like dropped out of society, or they're like crazy drug addicted whores. There are a lot of mental illness issues with the homeless, absolutely. Um, there's a lot of other issues that go along with that. Also, when you're released from prison, you are given 1 week's worth of your medication and told to fuck off. Um, so there's a lot of issues that contribute to homelessness. It's really hard to get out of homelessness. And I'm sorry, I'm back on my soapbox here. You
You're
cut me
fine.
off when you need to.
You're fine.
But like a lot of people say, go live in a homeless shelter. There's a lot of issues there. About 50% of women are raped in a homeless shelter. You can stay there for a period of 30 days and then you have to move on somewhere else. They do not have laundry or showering facilities, so you have to figure that out. And realistically, if you ask yourself, would I hire a homeless person? A lot of people say yes, because they say, I know they'd be totally dedicated to the job. They would come in every day. Realistically, that's just not the case, because when you're looking at me, a college educated white woman with no history with law enforcement, who has her own car, her own transportation, her own cell phone, an address, versus someone who might not have any of those things, you're going to hire me. You're going to hire me. So it's really hard to get a job. It's really hard to keep a job, especially when you don't have like an address.
Yeah, I
So
think there was somebody told me once you can't even apply for benefits if you don't have an address. I don't know if that's true or not, but
I'm just saying, like, it's really easy to say they're homeless because of choices they made, which, sure, maybe a little bit. But I also know a woman who was an economics professor at Penn. She is homeless right now. Like, it happens to a
oh yeah,
lot of
life can come at you really fast. It really
yeah,
can. And yes, a lot of the times it was due to previous choices,
yeah,
we maybe made when we were younger. But I mean, if you're out there and you have a heart, and I know a lot of people in the chat, we're all friends, we're being sarcastic a little bit, but just I mean, there's no the bottom line, Max, there's no easy solution. I mean, if there was
yeah,
a thing like that, any president would have fucking done it right now like that. I mean,
yeah.
it's a multifaceted issue when you get into corporations, housing prices of what they are, mental health, the way we treat mental health, the way we should treat mental health.
Mhm.
It's an onion. If you just keep peeling it, by the end of the time you're done peeling the onion, you're going to be holding nothing in your hand because you're going to get right back to where it began. Yeah, I mean, you're right back at the beginning.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I know I'm sounding like a bitch right now, but just I really want people to understand that
for
it's a
sure,
complicated issue. It sounds
100%.
really simple. It's really complicated.
All right, now speaking of complicated, what is the
Mhm.
Posh Heart and Hustle Community Fund Award, and describe the platforms you use to sell most of your stuff?
So, if you want to sell clothing, the easiest platform to go on is Poshmark, I would say. Mercari, also really easy. The most difficult is eBay, because eBay asks like a bajillion fucking questions. But I was a recipient of the Poshmark Heart and Hustle grant. They gave me $500 to further my business. Basically because I had a business plan. And that's the thing. Like, if you want to have a business, you have to treat it like a business. So uh yeah, that's the best advice that I can give you, because clothing selling is something that I was able to start from my own house with absolutely zero overhead. I still get most of my inventory for free, because people donate to me, because people know that I will come to your house, I will pick it up. And so many people have like a bag in their car that's supposed to go to Goodwill for the last 6 months, you know what I mean? um and I take that stuff, I sell it online, and profits get divided between my daughter's college fund and my charity, so people feel like they're doing good. And a lot of people have an emotional investment in their clothing, so they don't wanna take it to Goodwill because you're dropping it in a trash bag on the street, which feels valueless, but when they give it to me, they feel that it's retaining some value and it's helping me in my future. So, you can get a lot of shit for free. Like, if you want to have a business from home, I really recommend clothing selling.
Okay. Now, are there platforms people should avoid? Like I've heard some people say Etsy's not good, or are they kind of all the same in your opinion? What's your take on
I mean, you have to find your vibe, which I fucking hate saying because I feel like I sound like a YouTuber. Um, where's my water? I forgot it. But like on Poshmark, they're the social app. So they want you to be talking to people, doing live shows, sending out offers. On Depop, if you send someone a message saying like, "Hey, I saw you liked my item. I'm willing to give you 30% off." The message you'll receive back is, "Bitch, I will cut you." Like
it?
they're all completely different platforms. So you have to find what works for you.
Okay. Okay. How many packages are going in and out, or do you average in a typical day, would you think?
I've had to really step back because YouTube has taken off so much, but I used to sell about 100 items a week,
Damn.
which is very achievable. Which is very achievable because again, like I'm dumb, but I found my niche and I'm comfortable being on camera. So I did 2 live shows a week, 2 hours each, which again, you have to find your stride. So whatever you're good at, like you don't have to be successful the way that I was successful at that. There's a lot of ways to be successful and you don't have to do clothing. Like if you fucking love baseball cards, there's way to be successful doing baseball cards. So the same as YouTube, like you have to be yourself and it has to be something that you enjoy or it will not be sustainable.
100%. How many pieces of clothing do you estimate you have that you will never get rid of?
Oh shit. I don't want to talk about that.
No comment, sir.
I don't want to
All
talk
right.
about it.
All right. Now, would you at some point, or do you now even have a brick and mortar resale shop?
Um, I would like to, but it's not in the cards right now.
Okay. Do you think resale shops are going to become more popular as people become less enthralled with new fashion, the more sanctions are put on some of these regions, that kind of thing? I mean, it's a common sense transition, in my opinion, because like you said, people just donate clothes. I mean, I've seen everybody's probably had a relative pass away. You see what happens when stuff when they just chuck it. So do you think that's going to be a big booming thing soon in the next 10, 20 years?
Absolutely. And you should get in on it now. Um, it's estimated that we currently on this planet have enough clothing to clothe the next 6 generations. Clothing production has increased 200% in the last 10 years. As fast fashion increases, just the amount of stuff has increased. So there is no reason to not get in this business now.
I once read that as a country, Americans produce 400 million promotional free t-shirts a year. That's just
Yeah.
free promotional t-shirts.
Yeah.
And that's crazy to think about because I look around here, I probably got about at least 50 shirts just within eye shot. And then that doesn't count the garage and upstairs. I must have 300, 400, 500. I don't even know. I always often thought if I just lined up all my shirts and all how long it would go, how many miles, then I still out here buying new shit. Is there a
Well,
way to get over? I mean, what would you, and we're a consumer society, Megs. What would
yeah.
you like? What things do you do to just not get online and buy shit all day? Like, what are your or what would you recommend to people who are just serial shoppers? They just want to spend, but they never get rid of shit.
So I would tell you 2 things. One, in terms of the t-shirt thing, one of my favorite facts in the universe is that they produce all of the t-shirts for both sides of the Super Bowl. So, like, if it's Philly versus Cleveland, both sides are prepared. So, hundreds of thousands of t-shirts immediately go to some like small African village. You know what I mean? Like, which is a hilarious fact to me. But like I fucking love new shit. Like I love getting new shit. So I shop from my own merchandise. So if you want to shop, like I got this shit for free. I got this shit for $1. I got this for free. Like I I use my personal Poshmark closet like share um from Clueless, where I'll just scroll through and be like, what do I feel like wearing today? But you can set up clothing sharing programs You can find shit on Facebook all the time, like, because you're a big dude, but I bet you're limited in what you can buy when you go to a store. But if you started a group on Facebook for like dudes in your town, like with me, when I have to go to an event, I don't like go buy a $300 dress. I post on Facebook, hey, can I wear something from someone? And somebody's gonna be like, oh, fuck, I was a bridesmaid 8 fucking years ago. This bitch told me, you'll wear it again. I've never fucking worn it again. Like, please take this dress, wear it, show it an evening before it goes back in my closet. People love doing that. So there's a lot of easy ways to feel like you're shopping without spending that money. And if you open your closet to other people, they will do it to you too.
Bridesmaids dresses, that makes me laugh because theirs is a one use only, one time. And because when I got married, I felt, I didn't really feel bad, but it's like, what are they going to do with these brown dresses? Because I had brown's colors, it was orange and brown, and the bridesmaids dresses were all brown. It's like, they're never going to wear this bullshit again. It's great. All right. What is your footwear of choice? And I to assume it's like Chucks. What do you wear?
I am barefoot at all times.
Oh, that's a nice hippie right there. No, it's true to the game, baby. I love it. All right. But some of these questions are silly, but this is just how we usually wrap it up because we're goofy around here. All right. If you had $4 in the bank and needed everything, like literally everything, what would you buy first?
Oh, fuck. $4?
Yeah.
Okay. You're not gonna like this answer, and I'm not liking telling you. I would go to Goodwill and I would buy like a super cheap crop top and then go to a bar.
I love it. Using how it works. That's great. All right. What kind of dishwashing detergent do you use?
Tide Pods.
Okay.
Oh wait, no, sorry, dishwashing.
Yeah.
Oh fuck. It's like the crystal clear shit. It works. I love it. It goes in, it works. I did snort you.
Paul writes, when does a Cub Scout become a Boy Scout? When he eats a brownie. That I can tell you that's not true. When Jimmy went from being a Cub Scout to a Boy Scout, there was no brownies because they don't like my brownies because they got weed in them. I told you earlier, the kids don't like the weed, so that's just how it goes. How long could you sit in a library and do nothing before you fell asleep?
Solid 45 minutes.
Okay, that's better than me. Probably about 15 for me because I'd be like out. When was the last time you were at a library? Do you go to the library at all?
I took my daughter to one 2 days ago.
Okay. I haven't been to the library in years.
Libraries are great. Also, you can get the Overdrive app if you have a library card, which allows you to listen to hundreds of thousands of audiobooks for absolutely free.
That's great. It's a good resource. It's a good resource.
You should do it. Yeah.
Well, that's how that using free resources and shit available to you is how you got to make it in this new hustle economy. It's people like to think they're going to go to their job and work 40 hours a week and that's it. You gotta, you gotta be inevitable on that shit, man. All right. What is your favorite airline you have been on and what is your least favorite?
I last flew when I was 6. No, fuck. I went to Disney. Fuck. I don't know shit about airlines. I don't care.
So you're basically John Madden out here. Then just don't do the planes, huh? Okay.
I hate it. They're all terrible. Because for me, the entire experience is like me trying to not throw up for 3 to 6 hours. So I don't really know the experience.
I love it.
And U-Haul, that is when a Boy Scout becomes a man when he eats out of brownie.
Hey, it's part of the leadership program, bro. When was the last time you were at a zoo?
Last year I took my daughter.
Okay. Did she like that? What was her favorite animals?
Dude, so fucking annoying. I showed her all this shit and her favorite thing was a pigeon. We chased pigeons for like 2 hours.
Do you have a particular favorite animal at the zoo?
I love the prairie dogs because I love little fat things. Like, I just love little fat things.
Do you have any pets yourself?
2 cats and 2 dogs.
Okay. We got 2 cats. We had dogs, but I'm not, after you lose the dog, it's like, I'm not trying to go through that again. You know how it is. All right. Have you ever been in a Ferrari? What about a Lamborghini? And do you have a favorite car yourself?
Oh, fuck. None of that shit. Come on.
It's a true hippie. It's a true hippie. I'm telling you. She's walking out bare feet, not even fucking with it. I love it. I'm going to omit the question about the Caribbean because you've never been there. Who are the 3 most famous people you have met in your life?
I accidentally smoked a joint with Jack Johnson. I stage managed a show for Tom Morello. He was real nice. Who else? I've done stage work for people, so I know some actors, but oh, oh fuck me. I'm the worst with names. Fuck, I'm the worst with names. He was the Emperor in Gladiator.
Oh,
Help
I
me.
know what you're talking about, but not.
Help me. Oh my God.
I can picture the guy, but I 100% don't remember the guy's name.
Right? Motherfucker. Yeah. But I helped him set up a show.
Okay, cool. What period of time would you like to live in that you haven't already lived in?
So I guess I'm breaking your rules, but fuck you. The 90s, because like I was a baby in the 90s, so like
Okay.
I'm sort of aware of some shit, but I was born in 89, so like I didn't really get to. I wish I could have been like a teenager in the 90s. Would have been more fun.
Okay. I was a teen in the 90s, but I was awkward and that was drink a lot of malt liquor. Let's just put it like that. Boy, I was reckless in the 90s, man. I'd be 16. I look back at the shit we used to do, Leps and the Chat. He's from the same area, so we know the same kind of things. But the shit we used to do as teenagers, man, if these kids did it now, like we'd have congressional investigations. I used
Oh
to
my God.
drive around drinking 40s of beer, not giving a fuck. Like, what was I doing, man? Should have been better in my life. I'm out here just like, fuck this, go party, man. Easy E, yay, Dr. Dre parties. It was but you know, at the end of the day, Megs, you just learn from your life. You know, you
That's what
better
I was gonna
yourself
say.
in
There
life.
is no amount of money you could pay me to go back and be a teenager again. Like I went through that shit. I'm good. I'm out.
Oh, so awkward. I see the poor kids going through right now because I got a 14, 15-year-old and they're going through all the high school BS and awkwardness. It's just like, you know, 4 or 5 years are gonna be so much more happier. But I'm not gonna push life and I'm gonna let them enjoy it. I'm gonna still enjoy the last years. I can tell people what to do before I ain't gotta tell nobody nothing what to do once the last one's 18. Shit. I can just do whatever the fuck I want after that. All right, a couple more we got here. How long would it take you to parallel park a car?
I don't want to talk about it.
Love it, love it, love it. Hey, you're not a car girl. That's fine. That's fine. All right. Beatles versus Queen. Who would you pick out of those two bands?
Beatles.
Oh, nice. Right. The quickness. I love
I
it.
have
I love
Beatles.
it. Okay.
Like
What is
all respect to Queen. All fucking respect to Queen, but the Beatles can hold their own.
I got it. I got you. I got you. All right. What's something you haven't done yet you were sure you were going to do by the time you're 50? And what is your advice for your future self?
I really want to ride on a motorcycle. I've never ridden on a motorcycle, and all of these people promise they will take me for a ride, and no one ever has.
Well, I have a Vespa, but I don't know if we'd like there's a solid 400-pound weight limit on that, and I just I don't want to do math for people. And it's really a tiny bike. Like I haven't driven the fucking thing since I crashed, and I know a lot of people in the chat joke about that, but I mean, I don't. It's too small to put somebody on. I wouldn't feel comfortable. Now, if I had like a Harley or any kind of, I'm not a bike guy, but like if I had any kind of bigger bike, like Indian or something like that, definitely. But that little scooter I got, yeah, nobody's fitting in the back of that fucking thing. The kids don't even want to go back. They're like, fuck that shit, Dad. We're not doing that. All right.
I
Do you have
can't drive a motorcycle even in like fucking Mario Kart, but like I want to ride on one. I want someone to drive it for me.
It's funny because I like that. Oh, I just thought about this. Grand Theft Auto 6. Are you looking forward to this or what? I think that's the only game I'm ever going to play again because I ain't played a video game so long. I mean, I'll play games here and now with Jimmy, but like as far as getting into a game like Assassin's Creed 3, maybe Madden 12, I don't even remember. But like, are you pumped for GTA 6 or what's your take?
Eh.
It's another game.
For me, the excitement with Grand Theft Auto shit has just died down. Like they waited so long to release new shit. The only thing I want to see, and I will not repeat this, is the strip clubs because like they're going all out with their graphics. Like I don't know if you've seen, but like they are bringing in like actual strippers who are like doing shit. I want like we had to suffer through like 8-bit chicks, and the kids today are gonna get like full on strippers. Like that is not fair.
I still remember the in Vice City, the main club there. the one that's supposed to like imitate the club in Scarface. Once you got past a certain level, the stripper was topless, but they had little X's on it.
Yeah,
Little
like
box tubes and little fucking X double tape was great.
I'm fine with GTA 6 coming out, but I think that they should have to suffer through, like, when you get back in there, it's the same girl as in, like, the original games that we just had to, like, squint our eyes at and, like, try to get turned on by.
That's great, man. That's great. Well, we've had a great time here with the lovely Refashioned Hippie. Do you have anything else to promote, and how do people get a hold of you? Plug everything you got.
Yeah, so I'm Refashioned Hippie everywhere. Please follow me on YouTube. That's where I make the money. But I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok, which God knows how long that's going to be here. Facebook, I'm Maggie Weber with 1B, like the grills. And yeah, I have my own books. I have audiobooks that are out. So if you like the sound of my voice, please check that shit out. But yeah, it all helps.
That's awesome. Well, thanks to Refashioned Hippie for joining us. It's been a lovely time, Maggie. Appreciate it so much. Don't forget to join us. When's the next show? Let's see. What's today? The 6th. On the 9th. No. Monday. Monday at noon, we're having Mike Reed, British disc jockey on. He's a good dude. He's like the UK's version of Casey Kasem for all I could deduce. So all you Brits in the chat, tune in Monday because Mike Reed's going to be on. It's going to be a good time. And thanks for joining us, Maggie. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
All right. We'll talk to you guys later. Peace. All right.